So how about that Demi Lovato song? Am I right? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be talking about Scream 6. Now, this was one of my most anticipated films of the year. I really enjoyed what the directors of Ready or Not did with Scream 5. I thought that movie was a lot of fun. So seeing them come back for this film and seeing Kirby come back to the franchise, I thought that was a lot of fun to see. Now, the film takes our surviving characters, Melissa Barrera, Courtney Cox, Jenna Ortega, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and Mason Gooding to the Big Apple, where a new Ghostface is terrorizing our surviving characters. I really enjoyed a lot of this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. This movie is a bit long for my taste. I thought it was about 10 minutes too long. There are some pacing issues with this movie, but what this movie delivers on is a lot of the kills. A lot of the kills in this movie is extremely bloody and not gory, but there are some gory kills in this movie that I actually appreciated and I really enjoyed. Coming out of Scream 5, I saw the reactions for that movie and they said that it was the bloodiest of the franchise, and when I went to go see it, I didn't think it was all that bloody. When they say that this movie is bloody, this movie is bloody because this Ghostface is killing until they are not just dead, but they are dead. And that is something that I really enjoyed, the viciousness of this Ghostface. What they do with this Ghostface, I thought was fun, it was clever, and to a degree, I thought they were bringing something in from Scream 3, but it just turned out to be something else that I'm not going to get into. A lot of these characters are just top notch. These are characters that we enjoyed seeing in Scream 5, and everybody in this movie brought their A games. I thought Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega did step it up just a little bit. You still have the same traumas that Melissa Barrera's character has from Scream 5 and the revelation that we find out in that movie. Tara in this movie kind of has more of a forgive and forget. Well, not more of a forgive or forget, more like a forget about what happened in the past, and she's trying to live in the moment, trying to leave everything that happened in Woodsboro behind. And just the way that these two play off one of each other, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. They have great chemistry with one another. You also have Mason Gooding come back as Chad Meeks Martin, and you have Jasmine Savoy Brown coming back as Mindy. I thought they were fantastic in this movie. They were two highlights that I really enjoyed about Scream. About Scream 5. They were actually fantastic. They do feel like they are siblings, and you buy that chemistry again in this movie. I thought they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Now, when it comes to the story of this movie, I got shades of Scream 2, where it kind of feels like they are going back to that film, and there are several plot points from that movie that do transfer on into this movie and kind of mirror that storyline, but it didn't take away from the enjoyment that I had with this movie. Now, what we expect to see from a Scream film is the comedy. How does the comedy play in this movie? From time to time, I thought this movie didn't rely too much on the comedy. I think it relied a lot more on the suspense of a Ghostface probably being around the corner. You don't know where he's going to show up. Hearing Roger L. Jackson's voice again as Ghostface is one of the highlights every single time that I see a Scream film, because I love his voice. Even though it is a different Ghostface every single time, you still feel like Ghostface is just its own person when you hear his voice. And I thought what they did with this Ghostface was not only just vicious and brutal, but there were things about this Ghostface that I really enjoyed. The way that this Ghostface moves, I thought was fun. Kirby Reed coming back into the franchise, I really enjoyed. Hayden Panettiere does not feel out of place. You feel like this is the same character that we saw in Scream 4, and she delivers. I absolutely loved seeing her come back in this film because I really enjoyed her character in Scream 4, and even though she is kind of a background character, you still feel it whenever she's around. You feel the same excitement that you had when she first popped up on the scene, and she just absolutely delivered. Now mentioning Sidney Prescott, does it really feel like she is missing from this movie? It kind of does, but at the same time it kind of doesn't, mostly because even though she doesn't really show up till about the second act of Scream 5, you really don't miss her in Scream 5. And that is the same thing that I felt in this movie. They do a good job of explaining her absence and why she's not in this film, but I thought they did a really good job of explaining her absence, and this movie really doesn't need her for what they were going for, and you kind of don't miss her absence in this movie. This movie is mostly just about Sam and Tara trying to survive and trying to cope with what happened in Woodsboro. Mostly Sam, because of the revelation that we find out about her character that added a little bit more to her, a little bit more dimension to her character. That is something that I really enjoyed about this. Gale Weathers in this movie kind of takes a backseat a little bit as well. She's not in the film as much, and there are a couple of callbacks to her character, especially one song that I was really excited to see, and it just brought a big smile on my face. For the most part, I thought they did a really good job of bringing her and adding her to this movie. Now, when it comes to the pace of this movie, you definitely feel it, because after the first kill of the film, it drags on for a little bit too long, and there's really not a lot going on. So it does feel like it takes a while for this film to take its legs and just start running with it. But once it starts running with it, it absolutely is a lot of fun. The kills are great. This movie definitely does bring the thrills and chills that you expect to have in this movie. Overall, I would definitely recommend that you guys check this film out in theaters. I did get a chance to check it out in 3D. I would not recommend you spend the extra bucks to see it in 3D. I don't think it adds anything at all. There aren't a lot of pop-ups there, but overall, the enjoyment of this movie definitely was there. Some pacing issues here and there, but overall, I really enjoyed my time watching this movie, and I'm hoping that Scream 7, when that film comes out, that film also delivers. But those are my thoughts on Scream 6. Have you guys checked it out? Did you like it? How high does it rank on your Scream franchise list? Go ahead and drop those thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side.